Hey everyone, I'm Flo and we're all about simple food, simple faith. I cannot believe it's been almost 3 months since the pandemic was declared and our lives came to a screeching halt. No more activities, no more grocery shopping like we used to, no more gatherings and needing to keep a social distance away from each other. And it has, it was just craziness, right? Like we had to just stop and reevaluate how we were doing life and adapting to a new way of doing life. I think for us, this pandemic came at a very interesting time. For us, we've endured a lot of change in our lives, and we have figured, Dude and I, every 7 years or so, we start to feel a little bit antsy. It's too comfortable. We need a change. And well, this pandemic really did change our lives. And so for me, there have been some bright spots in this pandemic in that I've been able to do some things, or maybe the word is intentional. I've been more intentional about how I spend my time. And so there have been these things that I've wanted to do that have ended up at the bottom of my list that have finally made it to the top. One of those things is baking bread. I know, but I just never had the time to figure it out or wanted to spend the time doing it. But during this pandemic, all of a sudden it's like, I need to know how to make bread. I assure you it was not peer pressure. In our family, our breakfast item usually is just store-bought bread. And the kids really tire easily of that bread. And so often I would make pancakes or crepes or some other breakfast item. But I was getting tired of pancakes and crepes and store-bought bread and was really wanting fresh bread. But where am I going to get this fresh bread? And I cannot believe how easy it is to make it. I seriously cannot believe it took this major event for me to even give it a try. In recent years, I've shared many childhood favorite recipes that are generally super easy to make and super flavorful. But there are also some recipes that my grandmother used to make that are more complicated and also bring back a lot of nostalgia. And these are recipes that are often disappearing because stores or restaurants are mass producing these items now, and you don't have to make them at home. But my mom wanted to make jong, which is a sticky rice with different types of filling and wrapped in bamboo leaves that are either steamed or boiled in a pot. And she says usually it takes about 6 to 7 hours just to cook it, and never mind all the time that's needed to prepare all the ingredients to make it. So we recently, my mom, myself, and my daughter got together and made jong for the first time. It was a lot of fun and, again, nostalgic because I do remember making jong with my grandmother when I was a kid. And my mom also remembers making jong with her mom when she was a kid. So my mom was, she worked full time, and so she never really had time for us to do this together as mom and daughter. But but she has time now because she's fully retired. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And of course, I had to find a way to do them quicker in the Instant Pot. So instead of boiling them for 6 to 7 hours on the stove, we were able to make them in less than 2 hours using the Instant Pot, and they were delicious. We usually travel over the summer, and this year, well, there's just a lot more restrictions. So we decided that we were just going to stay put and spend our time at home. And so I've always wanted to have a vegetable garden, but I don't really have a green thumb. But I'm discovering that maybe I do. I grew up watching my grandparents grow a vegetable garden and just seeing the community that they built with their neighbors in sharing and trading their bounties. It was just amazing. They had so much food to share with one another. For us, a part of it is also just being more self-sufficient, especially seeing that grocery shopping has changed so much during this time. Being able to just provide for ourselves in a vegetable garden, hopefully will help through some of that. See, check it out. Maybe my thumb is growing greener. This is kale that you see, and my lettuce is also starting to sprout. They're not as big as the kale, but they're growing. Dude and I are celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary in a couple of weeks. And since we are not traveling and we have all these points accumulated on our credit card, we decided to gift each other free Apple Watches. So, you know, we love anything for free. And plus, Dude and I are pretty techie, geeky. And one of the things that the Apple Watches allows us to do is to compete against each other in terms of how much activity we can accomplish. I blow past his activity level every single day.
She's crushing me, folks.
And I don't even know why that is, because the other day he tried to keep up by just running up and down the stairs. One of the other activities that I have been involved with is in the last several weeks, a few of my girlfriends have decided that we're going to go for weekly walks, and socially distanced, of course. And we have been just walking about almost 10 kilometers each time we meet. And we usually end up at some remote coffee shop and then walking back. And it's been so great because I think in our regular busy lives, we would never make that happen. We'd talk about it and we would, you know, say, oh, we should do this, but it would never happen because all of us lead very busy lives. But now we are finding that, well, for myself, my gym went under, so I can no longer go to the gym to work out. I have a lot more time to fit in a weekly walk with these ladies, and also because we're not really socializing the way we used to, I really look forward to this time to connecting with them. Dude and I have endured a lot of change throughout our lives, and God has always presented more and more opportunities for us to trust Him. And I think we sometimes fall into this false sense of, you know, we do trust God. We trust God and, you know, this, and this. And this pandemic has launched us into a different place, even more opportunities to trust Him more. So I think, I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is that even though we say we trust God, do we really? And there are so many things that I think we try to control in our lives, our schedule, our plans, not just for the day or the week, but even like summer plans. Like we thought we would be camping and traveling this summer. Well, that's not going to happen for us this year. And, you know, but God has provided new opportunities for us to enjoy our summer and learn new things. And I think it's just a matter of perspective as well. But trusting in God's plans for us is always way more important than just relying on our own plans and being upset or disappointed when our plans don't work out the way we want it to. But to see God's blessing in everything that we do, despite our trials and despite the hardship that sometimes comes our way, I think is really a way that we can persevere through these times. In James chapter 1, verses 2-4, it says, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." And I think it's those words, lacking in nothing, that really speaks to me, that even during this time of chaos, that we are still lacking nothing because God provides for all our needs. I hope you guys will all go out and try something new and see the silver lining. Be safe, stay healthy, be kind to one another.